Hey.
Welcome to Soul Sisters Podcast with Jesse
And Vicky. We're best friends, sisters in Christ, and your new favorite duo for all things faith, motherhood, real life chaos, and a whole lot of laughter.
Now, don't mind us if we go off on random talks.
It's just who we are.
But we'll also hold space for the hard stuff, the deep, honest, faith-filled conversations that really matter.
So whether you're driving, folding laundry, or hiding in the bathroom for 5 minutes of peace, you got a seat at our table. Come hang out with us.
Welcome. This is our first episode
for our podcast,
Soul Sisters.
Oh, God.
Is my mic on? Okay, just make sure. Okay,
Oh, man.
so this is our first episode.
Is it on?
And we're
Yeah,
it's on. So we are so excited to start this podcast together, and we are so excited to bring more people into our creation.
I know, to our little baby.
Little baby. We just gave birth to a baby, and we are praying and hoping that it will get to whoever it needs to get to, and touch whoever it needs to touch.
That's the main purpose of Soul Sisters. We feed the soul.
We feed the souls, like we feed each other's souls. So we're gonna talk a little bit about ourselves, because since it's the first episode, you guys don't really know us, so we're gonna talk about ourselves.
We get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first or me?
Sure. Obviously my name is Jesse. I was born in Jersey, but we live in Florida now. And my parents are pastors here, in which Vicky is a member of our church, and we are so blessed to have the pastors that we have. So blessed.
It's like one happy family over there.
One big happy family. Everybody gets along so well, and everybody just feels so comfortable with each other to talk about things, and
it's like one giant love pile, like a family reunion.
Every single time. So I have an older brother, and I have a child. I have one child. She's a girl, and she's the light of my life. And we're gonna be talking about being mothers and how it has treated us, how it has molded us into the people that we are today, into the women that we are today,
and the reason why we do what we do.
Exactly. And so we'll be talking tons and tons and tons of stories and things like that about our kids and stuff like that. Let's see what else. What else can we talk about me?
Your dog.
I have a dog. Gizmo. He's gonna probably make an appearance at some point. He's gonna probably come and sit on my lap at some point. So don't mind him. He's a Shih Tzu and a Schnauzer mix. So he's super cute.
Mine's too big to fit on our lap. She's not here.
Her dog. Too big. She's big, but she's not. She's big because she's big, but she's short. She's medium. She's medium. Right.
But she is so cute.
She is so cute. We love her.
I'm the other co-host and co-owner of Soul Sisters. I'm Vicky, and I grew up in Florida basically my entire life. Yeah, my parents came before I was born. They moved to Florida from Puerto Rico, and then the funny thing is my parents were actually trying for a baby in Puerto Rico. And
no way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were trying for a baby in Puerto Rico. God never let them get pregnant over there. And when they moved to Florida, they got married they got married like 95. And then a year later, here I am.
Here she is, the greatest creation of all time.
And so I've been in Florida my entire life. I'm my dad's only child. I have an older brother from my mom's side from her previous relationship. And then a bunch of cousins and family members who turned into siblings.
Right.
Like she said, I'm also a mom to 2 babies. I love my children very deeply, and yeah, excited to start Soul Sisters. This is something that's been in the works for like a year.
We actually joked about it
Back in February.
back in February. We were joking about like,
Oh,
oh, we're gonna actually. She's like, I'm gonna actually get mics, and I'm
right.
like, chill. We're not gonna. And look,
The switch up is
the switch
real.
up is real. This is exactly this
And
happens at the spur
yeah,
of the moment,
yeah. And
and
it was so funny because we literally, what was it? Back in February, I feel like we were just talking about randomly you sharing your location with someone, and then I was like, I don't want it anymore. And then we were
oh,
just like,
right,
oh,
right,
welcome
right.
to the TED Talk.
Welcome to our TED Talk. Yeah.
And then the TED Talk turned into we should start our own podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of nowhere, what, June? Yeah,
Yeah.
this month.
Last
Last month.
month, because it's July now.
Girl.
July 4th. So happy 4th.
Yes,
Happy
of July.
4th. Today. I don't know when this video is gonna go up, but
Eventually, but
happy 4th of July.
But yeah, no, oh my god. We were just randomly talking about, oh, we should start a podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna invest in the mics. And the minute I said that, I started researching mics right there in that moment.
And the funny thing is when you research things like that, it's gonna continue to pop up on your feed, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok,
podcasts started
everywhere. Oh, everywhere.
And
on all social medias.
I was telling Timothy, I was like, oh my god, look, we're gonna start a podcast without you even saying yes. And he's like,
you signed me up for it without even me saying yes.
And the funny thing was, he was just like, if you're gonna do a podcast, invest in good mics. And I was like, well, I'm investing in these. Mind you, I was like, I already added them to my cart.
Timothy is her husband.
Yes.
By the way, Timothy is her husband. They've been married how long?
We've been together actually 10 years this year, but married 8 in December. I know, a decade with him.
Yo,
it's insane. That's crazy.
To think, I've known you guys before you got married.
I know. You've known him.
I've known him longer. Yeah.
You've known him already like 11 years.
Mm-hmm. That is crazy to even think about.
I know. Our friendship just
came out of nowhere. It just came out left field. Boom.
I don't even remember when we started talking. We just basically
I think it just kind of happened.
Yeah. We just started yapping one day and never stopped.
And I think we just exchanged numbers and the rest was history.
Yeah. We met through Tim, and look at that. Now he doesn't even
Now he's not exist. Now we have Soul Sisters here and he's over fishing or doing something.
In the middle of a rain.
in the middle of a storm outside. He's over there
fishing. Like, right.
Man. So let's talk a little bit about the mission that we have.
Yeah. So I told her, I wanted to start a podcast to basically, we grew up in a Christian household. Mm-hmm. We both grew up, obviously your parents are pastors. My parents have been serving the Lord since, honestly, I think when they got married, so since the 90s, they've been serving God.
Wow.
And they've been wanting, we were raised up in a Christian household. And like I was telling you, I was like, there's so many podcasts out there, and I don't think that I fit into any single one of them. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't feel the need.
Like, you can relate.
Yeah.
More so.
Because I feel like most of them are drilling stuff into your head.
Right.
Or if not, they're just like, they're just either drilling something in your head, they're preaching to you, or they're talking about everything's rainbow and sunshines. And I'm like, but
it's not really like that, though.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have so many things that I'm going through. And obviously, we'll talk about our testimonies and stuff later on in a few future episodes. But like, there's so many things that I feel like every time I would listen to a podcast, I'm like, I'm turning this off because what is the point of it? Mm-hmm. So Soul Sisters came to be born in my heart about a year ago. And I kept telling my husband, I want to start a podcast. And he's like, well, do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it by myself. Like, it feels different when you're talking to a camera than when you're talking to someone else who can feed into it and have conversations. Right. So, like, it came a year in. Then we started talking about it, joking around in February. Mm-hmm. And then now in June, when we finally started, that we said, hey, what are we going to name it? And you're just like, Soul Sisters.
It came so fast. Let me tell you, that came straight from heaven, because that name came immediately, immediately to my heart and my mind, when we were like talking about like, oh, let's do a podcast, like Soul Sisters, duh. Yeah. I feel like this is going to really touch a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna
God willing, yeah. Because
Hmm.
that's the main point is I wanted something that everybody could feel loved and involved in.
Hmm.
There's so many topics in the Christian household and the Christian world that aren't even touched, aren't even scraped. And it's like those topics need to be talked about, especially
Hmm.
with teenagers, especially with that. You know, my testimony is a long one, and it's gone from teenage suicide to, postpartum depression, doing all this stuff. And there's been times where I felt like I've had no one to talk to,
Hmm.
but then there's God. And
Right.
I'm feeling like, with this podcast, I want everybody to know that there's a safe space, that there is a God who sees these things happening and it's going to be okay.
Hmm.
Like there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. So we're definitely going to talk about everything. Like nothing is
Lots of
going to be,
things.
yeah, nothing is going to be left unturned here. So it's like we're going to make it work and we're going to have serious talks. We're going to have laughters because as you can tell in the beginning of this
We're
video,
gonna have good times doing it, but we are going to cover topics that not a lot of
Mhm.
podcasts cover. And like she said, we want to have everybody. We want everybody to feel that safe
Mhm.
space, to feel like they're safe in order to grow and talk about certain things that they've gone through in their lives. So we wanted to feel like just a giant FaceTime call with everybody.
Basically.
Like just a giant FaceTime
I
call, like a
know.
a giant like sleepover or something like that, to where we can feel free to talk
And
about
where you feel
things.
at home,
Right?
because
Yeah.
that's the main thing. It's like, I feel like when you go to a church nowadays, you either they say, like how it says in the Bible, it says come as you are. But
Mhm.
when you go into the church, you don't feel like you can come as you are. You feel
Mhm.
like, oh no, I have to get myself ready. I have to do this, and like no, this is a place where you can literally fold your laundry while watching us talk.
Right.
Sit down, go in the car. If you got to scream, yell, this is something. This is an open space where you can just sit down and hang out with us and have a conversation.
And laugh, like we said, because we're going to laugh.
She is the most
I
random person
I am the
ever.
most random person ever, and you guys will realize that as time goes on. After every episode, you guys are gonna be like,
She's getting crazier
she's
and
getting
crazier.
crazier and crazier. She's a little random. I'm a little random. So I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not,
No, because
because that's just who I am,
that's how God made you.
and that's how God made me, and this is how I'm gonna be. So I am. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah,
I'm so excited for the next episode,
I know.
and I'm so excited to get to know every single one of you guys and to grow together and learn things from each other.
Yes.
Not only us, but from our viewers. We
Mhm.
can also learn from them.
Of course. And then obviously, the comments are always open.
Mm-hmm.
Our handles, we're not only located here, we're going to be located on TikTok. We're going to also be located on Instagram. So if you want to send us any messages on any of those websites as well, you're more than welcome to. And like I said, in the future episodes, you'll also see some other faces,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a different background here and there.
Yeah,
But
maybe a different background here and there. We'll bring some guests in and talk about a lot of things,
and whatever
a
God
lot of
puts
good
in our
things.
hearts, you know,
Yeah.
the main focus is always God and
Right.
Jesus. That
Mm-hmm.
is, we wouldn't be where we are without him.
Facts.
Because I can tell you, a year ago, I I would have not been here
Me
if it
neither.
was not because of him.
Yeah.
We have grown so much in the last year, and I can't wait to share our testimonies. Honestly, it's gonna be. We might cry.
We might cry. Wait, listen. We're gonna cry. We're gonna let our emotions out here a little bit, but it's good. It's
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
talk, and it's good to
It's good to heal the soul.
heal the soul, because
And
we're
that's soul
soul
sisters.
sisters. So yeah.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm excited. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.
So yeah. Bye.
Bye.